She'd gotten pissed when I called her out on it and uninvited me, so I was left with a pair of boring, strappy shoes that I couldn't care less about returning. I'd lost a friend. I'd watched another one of my friends get married off, leaving me behind. Somehow I hadn't learned my lesson. I kept going home with whoever wanted me that night. There was nothing wrong with casual sex, but I was doing it for all the wrong reasons. With a grumble, I finally got the shoe off and gave in to the urge to fling it through the air. It hit the ground with a thud and skidded along the sidewalk. I set to work on the next one and threw it, too. Fuck those shoes. Tears fell down my cheeks. I felt that whiskey hangover brewing deep in my belly. Tomorrow, I'd pay for all the drinks, the sex, and the fall. Hell, I was paying tonight. With the one shred of resolve I possessed, I scrambled to my feet and started in the direction of my shoes. For the first time, I took note of my surroundings and attempted to clean myself up. I'd wandered into the small strip of businesses before the pub, the post office, an old-school pharmacy, a couple bookstores, a doctor office, and a bakery. Usually, the stretch would have been completely dark, but a light shone out the window of the doctor's office. Surely no one is working at this hour, I said to myself. Liquid trickled down my forehead. I reached up to touch it and made out the faintest outline of blood on my fingers. Peering into the window, I could see a man sitting at the desk near the window. He looked beat. His brown hair, which he'd clearly used product to manage, had started to come out of its careful part, and he'd removed his tie and thrown it haphazardly across the chair. I wonder if he knew anyone could see him. Putting two and two together, I realized he was the new doctor that everyone had been gossiping about for weeks, some big shot from the city ready to retire. But everyone had painted him as some old rich guy. From what I could tell, he seemed to be neither. Almost as if he'd heard me, his head snapped up and he fixed his sharp gaze on a spot near me. Surely he couldn't have seen me. With a few long strides, I watched horrified as I tracked him from the office. The door swung open easily, and he stood silently in the frame. Just as I started to backpedal and walk away, his voice kept me frozen in place. "Can I help you?" he asked in a deep, quiet voice.